Okay, all right. So that was the spoiler-free version, and let's do the spoiler-full version. Whew. All right, let's go ahead and start. Well, hello everybody, my name is CulBlu and I'm bringing out this video of me playing a board game or talking about a board game. This is going to be a spoiler full version of my post-campaign playthrough. So if you have not seen my campaign playthrough and you would like to watch it, please do not watch this video because I want to spoil as much as I can or talk about a lot of things that are specific to my playthrough. Also, this is a spoiler full video of Sleeping Gods, as in I'm going to talk about all the things like no holds bar. I'm going to show the storybook and point to a few things and talk about stuff. So if you do not want spoilers, if you don't want to have anything spoiled for the game, please do not watch this video. Also, I am going to be showing some storybook stuff on camera, so please be aware of that. If you do not want to see any accidental spoilers around, I'm going to try to not spoil it myself while while recording this own video. But I have some things that I want to talk about regarding my campaign playthrough. For those who want more context on that, I did a full playthrough of Sleeping Gods. I've live streamed on Twitch, and I uploaded the clips to YouTube and videos to YouTube, so you can watch it in this playlist, or yeah, playlist linked up top. If you want to go watch the whole thing, it went about 16-17 hours, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know the exact time because I'm currently at the end of recording it, and it was over the course of a few days. So that goes a long way to say that, yeah, we're about to just talk about a lot of things. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and play music in the background because I'm used to listening to it. And also, now that we are in this part, I would like to first and foremost, for those who have watched the playthroughs, thank you very much for watching the playthroughs. But I would like to say, give a shout out to Laurent, R.I.P. Laurent, R.I.P. Laurent. I also think I made some decisions that may have not been available to me, but hey, who knows? But R.I.P. Laurent. Laurent sacrificed himself to try to make sure that we can survive and make it through, so I'd like to give a shout out to Laurent. Yeah. R.I.P. Laurent. Such a good crew member too. Very unproblematic. Just kind of stayed to himself. He actually tanked a lot of the damage in my campaign through. And that's also something I want to talk about. So like in this game, there's a lot of managing your crew. And I think this is one of the biggest critiques that a lot of people have given as far as feedback for the game. And they kind of mentioned that there's a lot of tedious like micromanagement that you got to do of people. It's like a continuous puzzle that you always got to deal with, and it gets worse and worse and worse. There's no ways you can kind of manage it. And like, I would argue it's not there's no way you can kind of manage it, but I do want to highlight that your crew of 9 is effectively one character. And what I mean by that is that you have different abilities, you have different skill points, and different things that you can kind of spread across people, or that are spread across people, and you have to manage, okay, how many times can I tap into this particular ability amongst my crew? And when we start thinking of everybody as one organizational unit, it becomes a little bit less of a daunting task, because you're just kind of saying, okay, I got a little bit too much on my strength people, so now I need to remove some from them, or I got a little bit too much on my savvy people or my cunning people, so maybe I need to remove it from them and manage that. So there's a lot of that back and forth, and that I found was very tedious and very consistent throughout the game. I can take it or leave it. I mean, if you want to take that out of the game and make it easier, go for it. If you want to just kind of keep the system as it is, sure. I enjoyed the story enough to kind of deal with that and bear with that, but I just want to mention that I do want to acknowledge that that did exist for my playthrough. But I did want to show everybody's health this way, because this is kind of emphasizing that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 35 plus 13, so this is 48. So you have 48 health, and amongst your 48 health, you have to make sure that you survive. Also, your ship has 11 health, so you're gonna make sure that your ship of 11 health and your crew of 48 health survives. So there's a continuous puzzle in the game of doing that. And then also, speaking of puzzles, there's the puzzle of the abilities too. The abilities puzzle, I don't know what the math actually comes out to. Actually, let's go ahead and figure it out. So let's see, for the strength, we have 5 strength between our people. So, and the reason why I'm asking this question is because I'm trying to figure out, is it like an even spread of like you have 5 of everything? Because if that's the case, that'd be pretty nice. But it's all spread out amongst your crew. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. Okay, so 6 strength. And as far as perception, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 perception. Oh, I lied. 5 perception. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perception. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 savvy. Cunning. Cunning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And crafting we have 1, 2, 3, 4? Really? Really? 1, 2, 3. Wow, we really only have 4 natural crafting. Holy crap. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So the reason why I wanted to take a moment to kind of count all that out was because like I was trying to figure out like so some of the characters only function a certain way. So Audrey's a perfect case. And once again, this is kind of specific to my playthrough, but also I just want to talk about the game in general in like a lot more deeper context. If you look at Audrey, Audrey's the only character who, while they battle during combat, she can also discard these craft cards. Craft is a little tool symbol that we have there. She can discard the craft card to also do 1 extra damage. She's the only one who has that particular ability for craft, and Raphael is the only one who has it for strength. Everybody else shares it with somebody else, so there's 2 people for perception and damage, for instance. So it's going to be your Khan and your Captain Odessa. They both can discard 1 to try and get extra damage. So discard 1 perception, try to get extra damage. There's Savvy for Mac and Laurent, and then there's Cunning. Oh, I lied. There's Savvy for Mac, Laurent, and Marco, and then there's Cunning for Kasumi and Gregory. So what ends up happening because of that is that you end up in a situation to where some of your characters end up specializing really hardcore in a certain thing. And I kind of didn't really want to rely on Audrey as much as I needed to. Like I felt like I was kind of, you know, poor Audrey had all of the strain, had all of the stress, and I kept having to refresh her. Like I kept saying, okay, Audrey, I need you to do this for me. All right, Audrey, I need you to do this for me. Audrey, I need you to do this for me. And that felt bad from a story perspective, but it makes sense because she's the only one who had this craft. And between her and Raphael, they were the engine room people. She loves ships. I mean, I guess, you know, Audrey came through. So yeah, okay, cool. All right, so that was a cool little thought experiment to go through. Anywho, but managing that was a nightmare. I do agree. Sorry, tedious. It wasn't a nightmare, it was tedious. Also, my ending that I got was ending 13. Ending 13 is basically, I had no totems, but I survived. So, that's cool. My final score for my playthrough was 32. Could have been 42 if I had a few more points. 10 more points, of course. And of the quests that I went through, I got a few quests. I got like 61. The highest quest that I got was 199. What's that one? Archaeologist. Oh, yeah. And then Witness. That was the other one. So yeah, so I mean, my progress through was okay. I say okay because the very first thing I decided to do was to go up high and kind of hang out in the north, which, let me get the book. As you said, we're going to show books and stuff. So I went up very high into the north area, which is up here, Aurora Township. And if you go to 157, you're going to face some Pan thugs. And that was the very first thing I did. The very first thing I did was I went up there and I ran into the Pan thugs. And I decided to fight them instead of paying them $2. And my reward for that was I got like $5 back or something like that, or $4. And then I also got Hubris, but that never came up. Like I never did anything with it. That was very sad that was like kind of a dead end. Maybe it was a dead end because I was kind of wandering around aimlessly. I didn't really focus on anything specific. But that first fight was very rough. I didn't really know how to kind of optimize everything, and it was difficult to kind of get my characters going, and they weren't ready to fight yet. But that Aurora Township was kind of a nightmare to go through. And speaking of things that were nightmares to go through, can we please talk about how perilous some of these lands are? So wait, where's it? Oh, I was only here. So this was a great find for me with Scholars Camp. So Scholars Camp, for those who don't know, Scholars Camp is a place that you can go to, and during my playthrough, it's a place that I ended up going to specifically to actually get most of my money and most of my building up of characters. So much so to the point to where my next playthrough, I'm probably going to go over here and get like a little bit of money and then move on, so I can kind of be good and ready. But in Scholars Camp, I was able to get $3 pretty consistently, so I had a nice little steady income to buy healing for my crew, and to also buy items and stuff to kit myself up a little bit. And then I could also go down here and pick up some artifacts, and had a little trade route going back and forth between here. Unfortunately, I didn't know at the time that I could actually have a much better trade route going from here to here, because at location R94, location R94 is a dig site, or is an abandoned campsite, I should say. And on that abandoned campsite, I was able to go in and if you do the strength 7, not the strength 9. Strength 9, you'll get into a fight. But the strength 7, if you succeed, you find an artifact. And then you return to ship. And then you can jump back on, find another artifact, return to ship. And then bring it over here. And you can sell artifacts. You can sell artifacts, one artifact for $4. Which is pretty good. Pretty good. And then also, if you want to, you can take 2 of those artifacts, go up here. And once you're up there, you can just trade that artifact in for a piece of a totem. And that'll give you a clue moving along some other parts for totems. So there's a lot of cool things that I know now that if I'm going to do another playthrough, I'm definitely going to try to optimize and do those things first. Because that way it would kind of get me to a good start. Like, and how do I get there? You can get there from here, right? So 5, 7, nope. So we go to 4. And then, okay, so we can't go there. Huh. So let's go up and then over to it. So this is 23. Let's see, 23 is in the other book. Oh, I see, yeah. So that's 23. Okay, so that's how you get there. Yeah, so this is connected to that, like so. I mean, it's, oh, nice, look, it makes it like a little map. That's neat. That's so neat. Look at that. Yeah, so being able to go from where I started over to this area was really nice, and that was pretty fun. And then I was able to kind of get a quick trade route. So knowing that that exists, I'm definitely going to go ahead and try to exploit that next time around, do some trading back and forth, and give me some free money to start the game off. And we'll have a pretty fantastic time. The other thing I want to talk about with the missions, with the items, is that, man, I feel so silly for not recognizing this, but like there was in the adventure cards, I didn't realize that I didn't have any artifacts. I'd never come across an artifact. I came across equipment, and I thought this was an artifact, and I thought this was an artifact, and I thought this was an artifact. But these two things were, well, sorry, this was an item that I got for fighting a squid, which I completely forgot about. And then these two items were things that were in pursuit of a artifact. They were not the artifact itself. They were towards an artifact. And it was very sad that I got to the end of the game when I did. And I survived, barely. And I ended up running up the stairs to try to do the free the gods, and here I am just struggling. So next time around, I'm going to try as hard as I can to try to find 7 artifacts, or 7 totems. And if I can find 7 or 8 totems, then I'm going to definitely try to do the option that lets me like free the gods. And I'll probably be better off too, because I'm assuming the totems will allow me to go ahead and get some really good benefits, and like they're a nice substitute to items. Because I feel like in this game, you need to either have a lot of money so you can buy items to survive, which means you won't win the game because you're going to end up with no totems, or find all the totems. I honestly was in a situation to where my quests weren't questing. Like there were some situations to where I didn't guess correctly, or didn't interpret correctly where I need to go. I was kind of lost and without a map, and I really wish the game had kind of spelled it a little bit more plainly from time to time about where I wanted me to go, especially considering that I would revisit the game after a day or two, and I wouldn't really remember where original car was from. It's like one of these was just Herring. Herring is a perfect example. So quest number 87, if you want to read it yourself. Herring is a delivery for the Herring King. It says, we met a group of Larkins preparing a ritual to appease the Herring King. They've access to pick up a vial of blood from the oldest fisherman. He lives alone in a cottage to the east. So I forgot where I got that from. Like, I remembered it happened to be Aurora because all I had Hubris, Herring, and I think Protector. I think I had those 3 quests initially. And because I had those 3 quests initially, I kind of figured, I was okay, maybe this came from the Aurora Township up north, but I wasn't sure. So I kind of felt silly because I was like, I don't know where to find this mission. So I kind of lost the thread with Herring. So this game does kind of demand that you actually, you know, pay attention to the quests and do them in order, or write down notes. And either you got to do one of those things. I didn't write down notes, and I wasn't paying attention, so I ended up kind of losing the thread on that particular quest. I could stumble upon it, I guess, but I didn't have enough time. It took me a while to realize the whole timing mechanic of the game, or mechanism of the game. So you really have to be as efficient as you can with your actions, or at least more efficient than what people might assume, or presume, I should say. Okay, cool. So that's kind of the main gist of what I wanted to talk about. I did, like I said, make it to ending 13. My ending was very sad. You know, somber, I should say. It was very somber. Laurent did sacrifice himself for the crew, so thank you, Laurent, for being down for the team. And we will remember you forever. But also, I feel like I could have had a better ending if I just paid more attention to the actual final totem. Also, man, was I very upset. I was so upset because I spent my last turn essentially going to heal. And then the first thing that happens on your very last encounter is that the old lady shows up and heals you and removes all your status effects. I was like, oh my gosh, you kidding me? So that means I could have spent a turn buying items. I could have spent a turn finishing a quest. I could have spent a turn doing something else. And I felt so, yeah, I'm still kind of upset about that. Like I spent a whole turn doing a useless thing when I was going to get healed for free, which I was trying to play as cautiously and move on, but no, it wasn't. Anywho, all right, so that's enough of me rambling on and on and on about it. As far as the rest of my stuff in playthrough, I'm definitely gonna go watch the videos myself just to kind of see how I did and see how it turned out. And maybe I'll make another video after watching my post playthrough. But I'm definitely gonna do a secondary playthrough. I don't know if I'm gonna do it immediately after this video goes live, or if I'm gonna do it later on. But at any rate, just feel free to check on the future. If I do it, it will be live streamed on Twitch, on twitch.tv/CulBlu. I am live streaming this video right now as I'm recording this particular post campaign playthrough. Though I am kind of rambling a lot more than I am kind of reviewing, but just kind of giving my feeling about the whole campaign, about how I felt about it, and you know what things I like, what things I didn't. I did not explore a dungeon. Oh man, I should explore a dungeon. I totally should explore a dungeon. Next time, I'll explore a dungeon. And we'll see what I can find. Maybe I could have found some totems in dungeons. I don't know. You never know until you check, huh? Never know until you check. Alright, at any rate, thank you all very much for watching, or I'm going to cut the video there. So thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see y'all whenever.